Appropriately then. Unusually.
So we're gonna get started.
Rick, no one's gonna judge you if you take your seat. Yeah, no one, I know, right? You can even, if they're tied.
Rick took his jacket off when I had the walk.
I did?
It took you a while.
Okay. We are calling the July 11th Town Council meeting to order. It's 6:30 at our summer hour, and we will begin with a Pledge of Allegiance. I pledge allegiance
to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Roll call, Mr. David.
Good evening, Madam Mayor. Councilor Blanks.
Present.
Mayor Cantor.
Here.
Councilor Cortez.
Here.
Councilor Fay.
Present.
Councilor McGinnis.
Present.
Councilor Poland.
Here.
Deputy Mayor Sweeney. Councilor Winograd.
Here.
Councilor Zdanowitz.
Here.
Thank you, Mr. Davidoff. We will begin with proclamations. So I'll just preface it before I go up to read the proclamations. The Chamber of Commerce and their CEO is here, Chris Conway. Thank you, Chris, for all that you do for our community. Where are we now? The third largest chamber in the state of Connecticut. The region, sorry, and increasing, and so they had their annual meeting and they present the Noah Webster Awards, and we went through that on the announcements last meeting actually, and we had our own Renee McHugh receive an award, and but the big awards there are two awards that are voted on, the submissions that happen, and I realize I just didn't sign this. Hold on, 1 second. And while I'm doing that, the first being the historic one is the Noah Webster Award. One of our favorite sons of the town of West Hartford, and it really has gone to amazing people that have contributed to our community in amazing ways, and it is truly an honor and comes from, again, the community and nominations from the community. We have the recipient of that award here that I will read the proclamation, and then the other award is a newer award. I think is this the second year of this award, and this award goes to it's a woman award, Elizabeth Gustin Basil Women's Leadership Award. Her family was very instrumental in making sure that her legacy was carried on by women in leadership that are truly outstanding and make a lasting difference, not only in the community, but bringing up other women around them. And the recipient is here. So I'll formally read the proclamation. But again, thank you to the Chamber. Thank you to all the recipients of the awards and the process that goes into it. There's so much work that goes into the presentation and the annual meeting, and it really is amazing. So first, this is the proclamation table. So first, I will do the, I'm going to do this one first. So Carrie Ann, will you want to come up? Thank you. And this is Elizabeth Gustin Basil Women's Leadership Award. And I know this is a little last minute, but if you feel like saying anything, I want you to feel free to. But you can think about that while I'm reading the proclamation. And Dr. Wilson, you can also. Whereas the health and vitality of a community is reflected in the participations of its citizens in those activities that further the strength of the town. And whereas Carrie Ann Polo graduated from the University of Hartford with a degree in visual media studies. And whereas Carrie Ann Polo used her creative design strategies and her experience as a content creator for Fox 61 and is now founder and CEO of New Park Creative, a local marketing agency reporting supporting other local businesses. And whereas Carrie Ann Polo is the co-founder of Adweek Rising, a mentorship program focused on supporting the next generation of marketing talent by connecting them with industry leaders around the world. And whereas Carrie Ann Polo volunteers for many local organizations, serves on the board of directors for the Connecticut Women's Council, champions gender equity, diversity, and inclusion, as well as mentorship. And whereas Carrie Ann Polo has inspired others through her words and action at the Women's Achieve Summit and the University of Connecticut Center for Entrepreneurship and Innovation. Now, therefore, be it proclaimed that on behalf of the Town Council in West Hartford and residents of West Hartford, I, Mayor Sherry G. Cantor, congratulate Carrie Ann Polo on being named this year's Elizabeth Guston Basil Women's Leadership Award honoree, highlighting her incredible career. And I will just say, she gave such an inspirational talk and I can't repeat it, but I just a few words, and people will see your energy and all that you do. So here's your proclamation. Thank you so much. So, Andrea, do you want to...
That was a lot of words. I didn't really prepare anything to say because I have never been to a proclamation before, so this is a first experience for me. Thank you, everybody. Thank you to the West Hartford Chamber of Commerce. I think awards like this are really important to highlight women's achievements. I think and this is how we empower the next generation of women leaders by telling stories, sharing stories. I talked a little bit about that in the speech that I gave. But thank you for being so dedicated to the businesses in this community. It means so much, and it helps us grow so much having your support. It goes so much farther than you can possibly imagine. So thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you, everybody.
Thank you. And I think you said that. Well, you want a picture? Okay, I'll talk about that.
I'm like always.
Stop. It's me. It's not you. It's really me, not you. I know. We'll get you guys out of here. This heat. And I think you had mentioned that there's always. You said something about being at the table and making sure that everybody is at the table to make those important decisions and feedback and information. But it was great. And I think, is it filmed? I don't know if you recorded. Yes, and so we can watch it. All right. And the next, I just want to give a quick shout out and a hi to Commissioner Bai, who is here. And Dr. Wilson, will you please come up? This was really an overwhelming feedback on this particular Noah Webster Award this year, and it was Chris said it was just amazing the feedback that they received. Whereas Tracy Wilson has played an integral role in education on the history of West Hartford for students and residents for more than 30 years. And whereas Tracy Wilson helped create and advocate for curriculum on African American history and Indigenous history through her 28 years as a West Hartford public school teacher. And whereas Tracy Wilson co-founded West Hartford's Witness Stone Project to memorialize enslaved individuals and is a project director to memorialize enslaved individuals at Old Center Cemetery. And whereas Tracy Wilson has continued to commit her time, voice, and expertise to accept the role as the town historian since 2004 and continues to make strides to ensure West Hartford's history continues to recognize the many individuals who contributed to establishing the town and continues to advocate for a more inclusive story through community education and collaboration with community organizations such as the Noah Webster House and West Hartford Historical Society. And whereas through her commitment to the history of the town of West Hartford and as a published researcher and author whose work includes Life in West Hartford, and whereas Tracy Wilson has collaborated, partnered, and supported many important historically relevant events such as West Hartford's annual Martin Luther King Jr. celebration and West Hartford's annual Juneteenth celebration, and whereas Tracy Wilson has been and continues to be a voice for historical accuracy and advocate for the LGBTQIA community, as well as other community voices that have been silenced through history. Now, therefore, be it proclaimed that on behalf of the town of West Hartford and the residents of West Hartford, I, Mayor Sherry G. Cantor, congratulate Tracy Wilson on being named this year's Noah Webster Award honoree, highlighting her incredible career and contributions to our town's history. There you go. Thank you. Would you like to see it? I'll see it.
Thank you so much. Thank you, Chris and the Chamber, and thank you, Town Council, for this proclamation. As I look up here, I just think of all the volunteer hours you all put in your governance of the town, and I so appreciate that. It's one of the things that makes our town such a special place is the civic engagement here. And I will say, looking forward, I'm really interested in the placemaking signs and hoping we can get some historic signs put up around town to really talk about our story and think about a little bit more about what our story is. So thank you so much for all you do.
Thank you, Deb. So, wait, Chris wants a picture. Thank you. Okay. All right. Thank you all. Next, we have public forum. Is there any resident or taxpayer that signed up? And if there are any resident or taxpayer present that would like to address the council regarding any item on the agenda which is not subject, to a public hearing, our whole crowd goes. Thank you all very much. Okay, sorry. I know, right? Okay, so no one signed up. We go to 4. Ms. Blanks.
Without objection, I move that items 5A through 5F be placed on the consent calendar.
Is there any objection? Hearing no objection, the items are placed on consent. Ms. Blanks?
I move adoption of the consent calendar.
Motion's been made and seconded. All those in favor? Aye. Any opposed? Motion carries. All right, now we go to new business. Ms. Blanks?
Without objection, I move that we receive the application and refer to the, I think I'm supposed to say, application filed on behalf of the Prospect Plaza Improvements, LLC, owner of 245 Prospect Avenue, Special Development District, more commonly known as Prospect Plaza. The application seeks permission to amend the existing SDD to allow the installation of a new 5,000 square foot outbuilding, which includes 3 new tenant spaces. I move that we receive the application and refer to the Town Plan and Zoning Commission, TPZ, and Design Review Advisory Committee, DRAC, for their required review. Additionally, refer to the Capital Region Council for Governments, CROG, and the City of Hartford, and set for a public hearing on August 22nd, 2023.
A second, did you see?
Second.
Motion's been made and seconded. Sorry, that's not. Is there any objection? Sorry. There being no objection, the motion is adopted. We will go to B. Ms. Blanks.
Motion to adopt resolution amending the general fund budget for fiscal year 2022 to 2023.
Second.
Motion's been made and seconded. Mr. Ledwith.
Thank you, Madam Mayor. This resolution was discussed at our last Finance and Administration meeting and amends our 2022-23 fiscal year general fund budget by $1.8 million in increased expenses driven by costs attributed to our police and fire budgets, most of which is found in overtime expenses. Of the $1.8 million, $1.1 million is attributed to overtime, $136,000 in fuel expenses, $200,000 in vehicle maintenance, $108,000 in EMS supplies, and $59,000 in training expenses. In our Finance and Administration meeting, we did discuss the estimated surplus that we're expecting at the end of the fiscal year. This $1.8 million was factored into that surplus previously, and we will discuss this surplus in the early fall along with recommendations in terms of how we appropriate that surplus. Through you, Madam Mayor, happy to answer any questions from the council.
Thank you, Mr. Ledwith. Are there questions for Mr. Ledwith? Okay, as Mr. Ledwith said, this was discussed in committee in more detail, but I appreciate the summary. Okay, all those in favor? Aye. Any opposed? Motion carries. C, Ms. Blanks.
Motion to adopt resolution accepting a donation from the June M. Rosenblatt Revocable Trust to support the West Hartford Senior senior centers.
Second?
Motion's been made and seconded. Mr. Ledwith?
Thank you, Madam Mayor. It's an honor and pleasure to present this resolution accepting a donation from the June M. Rosenblatt Revocable Trust in the amount of $66,901 to support the West Hartford Senior Center. June was a lifelong West Hartford resident and active member of our senior center prior to her passing in June of 2021. It was June's wish to provide our senior center with these funds so that others would continue to enjoy the various programs and camaraderie offered by our senior centers. June was a patron and lover of the arts and was active in many organizations outside of the senior center, including the Wadsworth Athenaeum, League of Women Voters, among others, and we know her legacy will live on in the spirit of both of our senior centers. We will certainly keep her family, as well as the Human and Community Services Committee, updated as the projected uses of this generation donation unfold as we move through the fall. So through you, Madam Mayor, happy to answer any questions.
Thank you, Mr. Ledwith, and I also want to say this is such a beautiful way to have a lasting legacy, to enrich and strengthen an area that you enjoyed and to spread that to others. So we're very grateful for June and all that she gave to the community around her at the senior centers, and this thoughtful, generous donation to our West Hartford Senior Centers. Are there any other comments? Sure, Ms. Fay.
Yes, thank you so much. I did not know Mrs. Rosenblatt, unfortunately, but I'd just like to acknowledge her generosity and really thank her for this tremendous gift. I think our senior centers are really golden here in our community, and so many people get to enjoy them. And I used to work out there, by the way, so I used to hang out at the senior center when I hit the age. And it's really a remarkable place. And thank you to the Rosenblatt family.
Thank you, Ms. Fay. Any other? Okay. Oh, we would love to have you come up and speak if you're sign it. Well, we can. You have to speak here for the protocol.
Little heads up would have been nice.
And if you say your name and address for the
Heads up.
record.
Yes.
Thank you.
My name is Judy Small, and I happen to be the person that delivered the check to Rick.
Oh, thank you.
I was June's executor. Leon was her neighbor, and I just wanted to mention that she left that amount not just for the Bishop's Corner Senior Center, but her plan was for you to buy a van with it. I just wanted to remind you of that.
I remember,
And who knew I'd be here, and who knew this would be on here? But see, June, I got it. Earn my keep. Anyway, I just wanted to mention that so you're aware. If you see a big van that says West Hartford Senior Center, and you're all welcome to get on it with me, she would be smiling.
Thank you so much. That's really.
Judy is right. We did talk
Judy's-
about the van, and,
That's
and I
right.
actually talked about Leon today, about the potential use of the funds.
Thank you, Judy, for sharing that. That's important information, and I remember that discussion, and it would really be wonderful to roll, to have our town roll with her in mind always. So thank you. All right. I think we need to vote on that. All those in favor? Aye. Any opposed? Motion carries. We are now all ready to reports from the town manager. Mr. Ledwith.
Thank you, Madam Mayor. I'll start with an update on some upcoming meetings. We do have a busy week ahead. So we have the Public Safety Committee meeting tomorrow morning, July 12th, 9 a.m. at 103 Raymond Road, which is the police department. So we'll meet in the training room for folks that can join us for that meeting. We have a Human and Community Services Committee meeting next Tuesday, July 18th at 5:30 p.m. That meeting will be virtual. The following morning, we have a Community Planning and Economic Development Committee meeting, and that will be virtual, and that's Wednesday, July 19th at 8 a.m. We have a special meeting on Thursday, July 20th at 12 p.m. We will officially notice this meeting for a tour of the Stanley Golf Course driving range, and then we'll end that meeting over at Rockledge, and we'll discuss potential uses of our driving range as we move forward under our capital improvement project plan. And then our next council meeting, town council meeting, is August 22nd at 6:30 PM. I did want to give the council an update, a very important update, that FEMA designates West Hartford as a host community reception center. On July 7th, 2023, the town was notified that FEMA had officially designated West Hartford as a host community reception center in the event that there was a need to evacuate residents living near the Millstone nuclear power plant. To earn this designation, the town had to conduct a FEMA-evaluated evacuation drill demonstrating the town's ability to receive, scan, decontaminate, and process evacuees. This was the largest full-scale drill in the town's history. The drill was conducted on May 13, 2023 at Conard High School and involved over 160 participants from 18 town departments and state and federal agencies. Town staff who were involved in the drill were from the Fire Department, Office of Emergency Management, Police Department, Public Works, Facility Services, Emergency Reporting Center, West Hartford Bloomfield Health District, Town Manager's Office, Social Services, Leisure Services, Superintendent's Office, Conard High School Administration, School Athletic Department, and volunteers from CERT. During the drill, the West Hartford Fire Department's hazmat team demonstrated their ability to monitor people and vehicles for contamination and decontaminate them when necessary. The town worked closely with staff from the Connecticut Department of Emergency Management and Dominion Energy Nuclear Connecticut Incorporated, owner and operator of the Millstone nuclear plant. Of particular note, the town passed this FEMA evaluated drill with no areas of improvement needed. And there are many, so many to thank for this effort, but the one person I do want to call out individually would be Bob McHugh. This really does not happen at the level it did here in West Hartford without Bob's leadership and organizational skills. So a big shout out and kudos to Bob McHugh. The town received $180,000 in grant money from the Nuclear Safety Emergency Fund to offset the costs. These funds were used to cover salaries and to purchase equipment, including a decontamination tent that costs approximately $68,000. The town will receive an annual grant of approximately $25,000 to maintain the program. The project gave the town's first responders, Office of Emergency Management staff, and CERT volunteers the chance to work closely and develop personal relationships with state and federal agencies that they would be working with during a regional emergency or disaster. It also gave town departments the opportunity to demonstrate their ability to evacuate and house local residents in case of an emergency. Moving on from there, taxes are due August 1st. On Tuesday, June 20th, 2023, the Revenue Collection Office mailed real estate, business, personal property, and motor state vehicle tax bills to property owners. Payments must be postmarked or hand-delivered by Tuesday, August 1st, 2023, to avoid penalty fees. There are 4 options to pay: online, by mail, by secure Dropbox, or in person. And that concludes the town manager's report this evening. Happy to answer any questions that the council may have on these topics or others. Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Ledwith. Is the, how long is that relationship with Millstone for us? How many years does West Hartford?
That's a
Part
good
of it.
question. I'd have to get back to you.
Okay, no problem.
For the specific time frame for
Okay,
that. I
just
do
curious.
believe it's for a number of years. I
Yeah,
don't know the exact number.
Okay, thank you. Any questions for Mr. Ledwith? No? Okay, we are honored to have our Deputy Corporation Counsel at the table tonight, Gina Marina, while Dallas is I think in Maine, with family. And just wanted to know if you had anything to share. I do have one question for you.
Right, I don't have a specific report, but I do want to note that the town council is required to set the date and time for the public hearing on the application.
That
We
was
did
my
set the
question.
date, but not the time. There was no notation in the meeting reminders. I'd recommend that we set the time for 6 p.m. and perhaps the motion and order would be from Councilor Blanks. She could, without objection, I move that we set the time for the public hearing on August 22nd at 6 p.m.
And that was my question. Oh, great. Okay, I know. All right, so do you want to move or without objection?
Without objection, I move that we set the time for the application of the public hearing on August 22nd, 2023 at 6 p.m.
Okay, is there any objection? Hearing, seeing no objection, that motion is adopted. All set, thank you. That was my only question. Any other questions for?
Nothing further.
Okay, all right, very good. Tiffany, Miss McGinnis, we are working hard at getting you out of here quick before you turn any redder. Okay, no, teasing. Food pantry needs food. Summer is a tough time for families, so please, just a quick reminder, canned applesauce, pasta, soup, tuna and chicken, always peanut butter, rice, baked beans, and donations can be left on carts at the lobby in the town hall. Nancy Stockman is the person you want to talk to if you need any help or any details. Book It Children's Fun Run, July 15th, will be held on Sterling Field, adjacent to Charter Oak. There will also be a toddler dash, 100 meters, a quarter-mile race, and a 1-mile race. The first 200 registered runners receive a race day cape. So that's really fun. Fundraiser for Children of Ukraine on July 20th. And Natalia Grin of Moya Ukraine Charity and Tatiana Karina, Mrs. Connecticut America and World Vision Ambassador, are organizing a fundraiser to help Children of Ukraine on Thursday, July 20th, 5 to 9 at Blueback Square. Playhouse on Park presents Bandstand. Tickets, this runs for July 12th through August 20th. Takes place in 1945. American soldiers returned from a home to a ticker tape parade. Private First Class Donnie Novitsky, a singer and songwriter, has hopes of rebuilding his life. NBC announces a national competition and swing band sensation, and it's a really, really fun show. West Hartford Chamber, and it's air conditioned. West Hartford Chamber of Commerce 37th Annual Golf Tournament takes place August 15th at Wampanoag, newly refurbished Wampanoag, and it starts at 9 a.m., full 18 holes. It is now one of the most highly rated courses in Connecticut, and you can enjoy the Chamber's a barbecue after. Registration is open to play, donate, sponsor, and volunteer. And then Pooch Plunge takes place on August 21st, which is always such a wonderful event. And what's best is weha.com's our pictures and coverage of it is always so amazing. So West Hartford Dog Park Coalition, the Pooch Plunge, and online registration will be available in mid-July, or you can pay at the gate. That's all I have. Are there any other announcements? Mr. Cortez first. No, go ahead.
So I just want to piggyback off your announcement with food for the food pantry. It's just for the town to remember that, if the doors are not accessible here in your after hours, feel free to drop them off at 1358 New Britain Avenue, West Hartford United Methodist Church. Usually when I come in the morning, I bring the stuff in, sort everything, and make sure that there's stuff not expired, and then we get it right over to the food pantry. So.
Thank you, Mr. Cortez, for your announcement, but more so thank you for what you do for the community and making sure that there's food and also diapers and other things as well. Ms. Blanks.
Thank you, Madam Mayor. So I don't have an announcement, but what I do want to do is send a shout out and acknowledgement to the Public Works staff for all the great work that they've done over the past week or so, and all the storms that we've had, how quickly they get out there and remove the debris or do whatever they need to do so the residents and business owners could really get back to normal. And the other thing that I failed to do last month is I really want to acknowledge the work that they've done all throughout the month of June with all the events that we've had, because during Celebrate, they were like a little well-tuned orchestra. And I know John would say the credit doesn't just go to him, but it goes to a team. And what I observed is those guys really worked their butt off in terms of making sure that they were able to stay on top of all of the debris and the garbage, and just making sure that the town and the area where all of our events take place remain clean. So I just want to say good job, and just you have all of our support.
Thank you, Ms. Blankston. I couldn't agree with you more. Thank you so much for saying that. And we take it for granted time after time that whatever holiday, whatever hours, whatever event, they are there for us doing really hard work to make sure that we are back on our feet and functioning as quickly as possible. And it's really amazing. It is truly inspirational, and we are so grateful for that work. And the events that, we often, and we do, and we need to also thank Public Safety for all of their work as well. And the fire we're pumping out so many basements. But Public Works does so almost in a dance, in a way, like you say, highly orchestrated, and they, again, oftentimes completely unseen. So thank you so much for that. All right, anything else? All right, so without objection, I move that we adjourn. Is there any objection? Hearing no objection, I think this is one of the, we are adjourned. Uh-oh, too late. Oh my God, I know, I think.